Welcome to Family Business Breakthroughs, where we bring you time saving, money making strategies to improve your business even more. With over 3 decades of experience serving multi generational family businesses, we've got time tested solutions that get the results you're looking for. Listen in and get ready for your next breakthrough. I'm your host, Jim Berner. Thank you for being here with me today. And, Meridian is a unique company that supports family businesses thriving by offering a holistic approach to leadership, team development, growth, and financial management. And while every journey is unique, Meridian uses a simple yet powerful framework known as the Meridian Method that focuses on three key pillars of vision, people, and money. These three pillars are the foundation of Meridian's approach. And within each of these pillars, there are three essential components. Over the course of 9 episodes, we're going to dive into each pillar and its components, helping you understand the Meridian method and how it can be applied to your own business journey. Today, I'm joined by Betsi Bixby, the founder of Meridian Associates, with over 30 years of experience supporting family businesses. Betsy's insights are rooted in real world practice, not just theory, and Meridian's success in helping countless families in their businesses speaks volumes. All right, Betsy, thank you for joining me today. We're talking about the first pillar of vision, along with the component of strategy to it. And I would love for you to talk about why is strategy in family business so important?
Yeah, I'm happy to. I love to start with why, Jim. So thank you. I think with family businesses right now, with all the changes that have gone on, and we, of course, work with a lot of multi generational businesses,
Mhm.
strategy, that vision and strategy is what provides stability. I think it gives a very long-term perspective, and that's something that companies really need. In Europe, I hear that sometimes they have like these 100-year plans, and I've heard of
Wow.
companies having 700-year plans, which is crazy, right? I'm not talking
Gosh.
about that long. But the other thing that excites me about strategy is it's really an accelerator. I think the
Mm,
business goes faster to their goals, and that for me is super exciting to see family businesses really achieving very, very quickly because they have their strategy in place.
yeah. And just on an off note, what percentage of family businesses that you usually work with that come in right off the bat usually have some type of strategy?
The strategy is usually in the owner's head.
Mm,
So they wouldn't have, made it to where they are, especially, third, fourth generation businesses. I think the difference that Meridian brings to the table is that we get it out of the owner's head. We get it collaboratively with other team members, and so everybody knows where they're going. The alignment's really good, and it's just a written strategy is a whole different thing than the strategy in somebody's head.
and that's a good segue because that's probably the first mistake that you typically see is that it's kept inside their head and not written down. But what other types of mistakes do you kind of see when people start coming to you with, "Hey, this is the strategy that we currently have," and you're like, "Oh man, like this is maybe maybe not what we were thinking here," or what other
Uh,
what other types of mistakes do you see business owners or leaders making?
Yeah. So, especially with long term family companies, Jim, a lot of times their strategy is just, it's really a rinse and repeat, only
Mm,
more. So, the strategy really isn't unique or different from what they've done over the last 25 years or 50 years or 100 years or whatever it is. And so, I think that to me, approaching strategy differently with Meridian Method brings that openness of thinking of, hey, there's other ways to achieve our goals. I mean, typical thing to give you a specific is, we've had companies where they don't make money during certain times of year
mm,
because of the strategies that they've had in place. And
mm.
and to me, that's one of those like, oh my God, that's not acceptable. You're supposed to make money all year long. What are you doing? And it's like, oh, but that's how we've always done it. And so we just want to do more, next year in our
Yeah.
busy season, we want to do more. And they're not, curing, what I see is the real problem. So yeah, yeah.
So
So that's pretty typical.
yeah, and you brought up that, Meridian Method, and so what kind of makes Meridian's approach that much more unique but effective for people to be able to utilize and accelerate their goals, as you mentioned?
Well, we walk them through a process that starts with purpose of the family company, and that's really
Mm,
different. So it's attaching it to something bigger than just, hey, we're, selling widgets and, this is what we do kind of thing. So, so
it's true.
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think when so I mean there's probably, other people that start with why or start with purpose and that sort of thing. But then with Meridian Method, we really take them through a process that by asking the correct questions and looking at, what is the company really proud of, and really finding the commonalities of that. And then it's busting through, well, we're only this, right?
Mm,
This is who
mhm.
we've been. And so it's kind of asking the right questions and getting people thinking beyond that. You work with me every day, so one of the things I love about family companies is you can go do and be anything you want to be,
Yeah.
as a family company. There are no rules other than staying ethical and within, your boundaries of your culture. But other than that, your strategy can take you anywhere. And so as companies start expanding their thinking about who they are and what they can be, that gets super exciting to me.
Mm, that's really, really good. Um, So this is probably going to be a very interesting question here. So be careful, probably how you answer this. But
Oh,
how
okay. Oh,
how
warn me,
is
warn me, warn me.
how is the family dynamic different when discussing strategy and family business in comparison to maybe one of these other big conglomerates out there? But I
Oh,
would
yeah.
assume that it'd be very different.
It is very different, and it's different in a really good way. So, one of the things that you find in corporate entities is, especially if they're publicly traded, is it's always about making the dollar, and like they have to make it every
Hmm.
single month, and that's what drives shareholders and all that stuff. Family businesses, what's really different is they can make decisions strategically to invest and to even lose money for a certain period of time, because they see in the future, in the long range, with that long term perspective, that sacrificing now will really provide gains later on. But the
Hmm.
main thing in family companies, and I'm sure as you know, Jim, is that not all family companies, not all family members play fairly with each other.
Yeah. Right.
So,
Yeah.
whatever fight over Thanksgiving or whatever is coming
Yeah.
into the family company. So the different ideas of risk, the different ideas of what's acceptable, the different ideas of even where they should be financially, markets. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
As many family members as there are, you'll probably have that many different opinions. So yeah, it
Wow.
gets interesting.
Yeah. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a short pause to provide you with some valuable resource information and come right back. Check this out.
Running a family business comes with unique challenges that not everyone understands. At Meridian, with over 3 decades of experience, we've seen these challenges firsthand. That's why we created Meridian Members, an exclusive platform designed to equip you with everything you need, from articles and videos to in-depth insights on growth strategies, company culture, and streamlined operations. We tackle the toughest family business challenges so you can focus on what truly matters: building a lasting legacy. Whether you're working on team dynamics or preparing for your next leader, Meridian Members is here to support your every step. Meridian is the trusted resource you can count on. Visit us at askmeridian.com to learn more about the resources that will drive your business forward.
Today, I'm joined by Betsi Bixby, the founder of Meridian Associates, over 30 years experience supporting family businesses. And So Betsy, let's get into the room now. We're in the room. You're kind of going over the strategy. Who should be in the room while this strategy is being developed? Who are the people that should be invited?
The people that should be invited are the people that are the leaders and future leaders. And we want to make sure that there's expertise in the room on every single
Mm,
piece of the business. Now, sometimes we make sure during our strategy sessions, we have what I call customer contact level people, because
oh, wow.
sometimes the leaders don't really know how the customers think because they're not close enough. So it depends upon, Jim, the structure, which I know we'll be talking about in another podcast, but how much does we need to make sure the people at the table really understand the customer, because that's who it's all about. That's how family business is going to be sustained. So, for instance, I can remember being at a strategy meeting where we had a truck driver in that meeting, and we had the
Hmm.
truck driver in there because they've been with the company for like 30 years and they knew everything there is to know about the trucking division, way more than the person that headed up the trucking division. And it was really interesting to have that perspective at the table. So, what we do when we're doing strategy sessions with companies is we talk to them about their people, and we make sure that we have the best people at the table.
Mm.
And you also want people who aren't afraid of disagreeing or speaking their mind, because a strategy session, you're always trying to have diverse opinions, have conversation. And we don't, if the person's a wallflower and not going to speak up, that's not the person to have at the meeting.
That's really good because you talk about, and gosh, we just had our strategy meeting where not all people agree on everything. Uh, are there any kind of tips or advice that you would be able to give to somebody about like when these arguments happen? Like, because I would assume that it's pretty frequent that people disagree on things.
People should disagree on things. That's how you develop trust amongst leaders. You want to have that disagreement happening. It's a healthy thing. And so,
Hmm.
yes, my first piece of advice is listen.
Mm.
Listen to the other person's opinion. I have a tendency sometimes with my own team, as you know, Jim, especially with my own daughter in the business, to be like, "Oh, I know where she's going with this. I'll just jump in," right? And that's the absolute wrong thing to do. So, really just to hear them out, because sometimes, depending on their personality style, there are some people who have to verbally process to
Hmm.
get their thinking on the table. For the typical business owner who's a driver and kind of that, I want to be done with it type of
Yeah.
personality, it's hard for them to just sit back and listen. So I would say listen to their opinions, figure out what's driving things, and then get factual. Um,
Mm.
and you
Hmm.
saw us in our shareholder meeting doing that. Of course, you're a great shareholder now. And so it's like, okay, you can have an opinion, but what are the facts? Let's get back
Yeah.
to facts. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that's so true. Now, in 3 decades of you doing this, I am sure you've seen everything throughout everything, and maybe not. So correct me there. But what's kind of a story that kind of sticks out in your mind of, this strategy planning session that we worked on, was just so exciting or super eye-opening, or there were just some really big breakthroughs there that just kind of has always stuck with you and stayed with you?
Jim, it's really interesting because you told me you were going to ask me this question. And I really sifted through, right? And I thought, first off, every single strategy meeting is completely different.
Mm,
And it's because we do custom work, it doesn't all look the same. But as I thought through just years and years of that, I thought they're all awesome. Like, they all have breakthroughs. They all also seem to have like these crisis points that go on during the strategic meetings, where they can't come up with an answer, or people, are disagreeing very, vociferously or whatever.
so for someone or for, I should say, a family business owner who has never had somebody from outside of their business come in and facilitate a strategy session, what advice would you give somebody as to why having somebody come in from the outside is so important?
I would say it's that outsider's perspective and their ability to be non-emotional, not have
Mm,
anybody's side,
yeah,
um, they can just really run a meeting efficiently and get to the objectives, and sometimes just by asking super pointed hard questions. Like, I can remember working with a group, Jim, and I um we put up all their different divisions. They had several different kinds of businesses, and I said to them, you know, let's think from your perspective of the person who's not doing business with you.
hmm,
Like, you've been wanting to do business, but you're not getting this business, and
mm,
your competitors are. And
yeah,
so, and we listed the competitors, we listed the divisions, and I said, okay, name me this company, or in this case it was a, a B2B type of situation.
yeah,
And I said, name me the company that is on your target list, like, man, you really would love to have them as a customer. So we put that name up there, and then I said, now why would they say they're not buying from you? And that was so illuminating. We had a bunch of
wow,
salespeople in there too, and it was like, hey, if we're so great, and you've been trying to get these accounts for years and years, why aren't they buying from you? What is the customer's perception? So it's that kind of, I think, outside perspective questions that someone who professionally facilitates these kinds of meetings can bring to the table, that will bring you a different result than if you just done it internally.
wow. That is that is phenomenal. I love that, and that's solid advice. And I'm gonna leave it right there because that's a mic drop of what we call in the industry. So let me just sum this up really quick on 3 points, just typical of what Meridian Method is. We always focus on Meridian threes, is starting with your purpose, always listening, active listening. And then I want to say also, no one's off the table from joining this meeting because everyone matters, especially those who have customer contact. So those are phenomenal. So Betsy, I want to thank you for your time today, sharing this valuable insight. And I want to encourage people to go back and pause at certain points to start devising this strategy that they need to be going through. And everyone listening, I want you to message me your questions, your comments. I want to hear from you. And as a reminder, Meridian is here to serve you and your family. And if you're looking for succession planning, leadership, next gen coaching, or want to attend one of our awesome events, check out the show description and the notes for the links on our website on how we can help. Feel free to reach out with questions and comments and hit that subscribe button down below to catch all of our new content. Thanks for listening in, and I'll see you next time on Family Business Breakthroughs.